You are listening to Proof Text, a Glossa House podcast exploring Scripture and all things related to it. New episodes are released daily. For more information, check out glossahouse.com and subscribe to our channels on Spotify and YouTube. Welcome and enjoy.
Welcome to Proof Text. I am Michael Halcomb, and today I'm with J.M. Smith. Always love meeting up, J.M. How you been?
I've been good, man. I've been good. I'm trying to stay cool during this Carolina heat that we're having.
Do you guys have is it humid? Does it get humid?
Yeah, it was super muggy today because it was overcast and just like an oven. So
Oh wow.
yeah, but you guys, it's not the hot season for you, right? That's like October, isn't it? Or August or
Yeah, it's like raining right now. It's really cool. It's like really comfortable. It doesn't get too muggy here. Like sometimes after a big rain and then a heat wave afterward, but we don't have a lot of muggy here until like September, October. Then you'll get some mugginess, but it doesn't last too long. But it's pretty unbearable for a little
when
while.
it is. Yeah, Charlotte doesn't get those ocean breezes cooling us off.
Yeah. What about up in the mountains there by Asheville and all that?
I think it's great up there. Yeah, I think you drive like 2 hours away from here and it's perfect weather right now. So
right on, man. Right on. Well, this is a episode of 10 questions where we look at just a random Bible verse and we each get 5 questions for a total of 10 questions. We try not to give answers. And JM doesn't know what verse is coming. I usually don't either. I just use the random Bible verse generator and I see it just a couple minutes before he does. So here we go. Today we're looking at Proverbs, which is always weird and fun, but that's what it gave me. Proverbs 23:5. So if you are watching, I'm going to throw that onto the screen. And we'll read it out loud here in a second. This is a kind of a weird verse, but interesting as well. So I have the YLT, the Young's Literal Translation. That was just the first English translation I clicked up. It says, "For wealth maketh to itself wings, as an eagle it flieth to the heavens." I'm curious, do you have like any like the NIV up or anything? Curious how that reads.
Yeah, I'm trying to get, so I gotta shrink the text a little bit.
The NIV is much more poetic. It says, "Cast but a glance at riches, and they are gone, for they will surely sprout wings and fly off to the sky like an eagle."
Yeah, very different.
Yeah. For wealth maketh to itself wings. It's kind of a tongue twister. As an eagle it flieth to the heavens. Yeah, so you want to start on this one or do I?
Let's see. Go ahead and start. I'm opening it up in another window. So I can see kind of around it, but
interesting.
Okay, wait, give it to me one more time. It was Proverbs 23.
Proverbs
okay, I had 25:3 up on one of my displays. That's why it was
23:5.
23:5.
Immediately I'm noticing like the length difference. So I'm looking at all these extra words. I mean, the Septuagint is very wordy. All right. So I guess my first question, why compare wealth to an eagle? Yeah, why what how does that analogy work? Why compare wealth to an eagle? Has that been done elsewhere in scripture? Is this novel?
All right. My first question then would be I'm looking at the Septuagint as well. So where you have cast a glance at NIV has cast a glance at riches.
Yeah.
My first question is, where is that coming from? The wealth or the riches from the Hebrew text. I have to do it on the fly, and
yeah.
It doesn't read very much. This seems very interpretively different.
The translations aren't lining up here, man.
Right, like I don't see anything about wealth or riches at all in the Hebrew text. So that's why I'm like looking at the Septuagint and saying, okay, wait, are they getting it from there? And my Greek is not good enough to read that one on the fly. So
yeah.
So where's the idea of wealth coming from? Are they pulling it in from the previous verse?
That's a great question. Yeah, where's the idea of wealth coming from? I don't see it in the Greek as well. In the YLT translation, they're leaving out really that first clause too. That's there in the Greek and perhaps in the Hebrew as well. Ean epistes ton son oma prosavton, and essentially like turn your eyes toward it. If you turn your eyes toward it, it will reveal nothing. Yeah. For it will like prepare it will prepare for itself wings just as an eagle, and will return to its house.
Mm.
It will return to its house, the house set before it.
Yeah,
so it doesn't even say heavens in the Greek. I do see that in the Hebrew, hashemayim there. So I'm really interested in just the translation questions. How do we get such a variation from the Hebrew to the Greek, and then the Greek to the English, and then the English to the English? I mean, it's very different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That would assume obviously that maybe the English is following the Greek, which is probably not. But just all of every sentence here in these four different translation or renderings are very different.
Yeah, is that? Let's see. Are we on you or me?
You.
Okay. The first in the Hebrew text I have BHS. There's a katif kore issue on the first word,
Yes.
which you're using
Right.
step. I don't know if it notes it.
It does.
But that first particle is an interrogative, is how it's labeled. Hataif. And Hataif is asking a question. So what there, I don't see a question in any of this, but the Hebrew text, if that is parsed right, then it's saying like it's not the definite article ha, it's huh.
Yep. Right.
So it's like cast or I guess fly.
Yeah.
Taif, it's a hiphil. So will you fly your eyes? Yeah. Will you fly your eyes on it?
Mm-hmm.
And there is not it. Yeah, it's just this is why Proverbs are crazy hard to translate because they're not normal grammar, and this is very not normal grammar. So, second question: how is that an interrogative? Should that be read as, or should that be read as part of like the verbal, like a hiphil or something, or is that asking a question? If so, why don't any of the translators? I don't even think JPS has that. I'm looking at JPS. They don't even translate it as a question. So why does it start with the interrogative? That's my next question.
Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. So in the Greek, you have the eon there, which is that if particle, and it's usually conditional, yeah, which does explicitly links it usually to what preceded. Yeah, so this does. I'm curious too about the question of whether this leads, is connected to the previous verse in what way. So what's interesting, if you look at the YLT on the screen here, it takes that first part of the Hebrew and even the Greek. Do you cast your eyes? Dost thou cause thine eyes to fly upon it?
Oh,
Then it
okay.
is
So it
not.
does. YLT does have a question. Yeah.
Yeah, but it puts it with the previous verse. Puts it with verse 23:4. And then yes, you have that explicit: do not wear yourself out to get rich. Don't work to make wealth. Yeah, I see. This is interesting, JM. On 23:4, from thine own understanding do not cease. And that's explicitly there in the next verse of the Septuagint. Yeah. Well, no, it's not explicitly there. It's actually not. Where was I seeing that? From thine own understanding. Oh, yeah, here it is. Te dese enuia aposcu. So there seems to be some versification issues. I guess that's my next question. What's going on with the versification?
Mm.
And the Septuagint seems to be to blame for that just at first glance. So what is the YLT following the Septuagint? What is causing the versification issues? This is messy, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Really. All right. My third question then is to it. Yeah. Okay. So we're the versification is what is I'm trying to figure out where it ends and where it begins. There's another Kathif Kare issue. Both of these, there's question, it seems, in the Hebrew of the first verb, hataif, like,
yes,
will you fly, or will you make fly, or will you cause to fly? And then at the bottom, what's written is va'if, but then it's supposed to be read as ya'uf, which is third masculine. So he will fly heavenward or toward heaven. So my third question is, what is it about this form of oof or if or oaf? The oaf is, I guess, the general word for flying thing, like birds are oaf in Genesis 1. So what is it about this that's so uncertain, even among the Masoretic scribes? Why are they getting hung up on the form of this word that has to do with flying?
Good. My fourth would be, so it seems that the agenda of the translators into English are attempting to make the point that wealth is fleeting, just like a bird is fleeting. It flies away. I'm just curious. My initial question is that really what the Hebrew and the Greek are attempting to convey? Yeah.
Well, my fifth question then would be, let's take the Septuagint reading, for instance. So you have to read 4 and 5 together. And I'm looking at the Nets, the New English, the Septuagint translation, and it says, if you are poor, do not measure yourself with the rich, but be restrained by your own insight. If you set your eyes upon him, he will disappear totally, for he has been equipped with wings of an eagle, and he returns to the house of his master. So that's what the Septuagint is saying, and the Hebrew is saying, or the English translation, like NIV, do not wear yourself out to get rich, do not trust your own cleverness, cast but a glance at riches, and they are gone, for they will surely sprout wings and fly off. So the Septuagint seems to be taking it as talking about don't set your eyes on the rich person, like the rich people. And at least the NIV is translating the Hebrew as saying, don't set your eyes on the riches, not the rich people, but the wealth itself. So is it talking about the behavior is this flying away, the behavior of like money, like wealth will just be insubstantial, which would fit right in with wisdom literature like Ecclesiastes? Or is it talking about people who don't put any trust on them or don't try to keep up with the Joneses? They'll fly away. They're gone. They'll leave you, and they'll abandon you. So what is like an eagle in this section? Yeah. Rich people or riches themselves? That's my final question.
Was that question 4 or 5? I think that was 4.
I think that's my fifth one.
Okay. Interesting. So I think I started, so we would be done then. And I now have more questions than I started with. Initially, I thought I had some grasp of what was being said, but now, after asking 10 questions, I feel like I don't know anything about this verse.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those I would want to the people watching this, we're doing this in real time. So this would be the case where like I would need to sit down and really do a translation and do some work on this before I would even want to attempt to say what it's about.
Yeah, exactly. And even the next verse is kind of odd, yeah? Eat not the bread of an evil eye and have no desire to his dainties.
That's Lois Tverberg came on to talk about that phrase or that concept of the evil eye. Yeah, we've done a video on that. That's an interesting one in of itself. So if this verse ever comes up,
evil eye is very, very interesting concept. Still very, very much alive and well in the Middle East today too. If you travel in Israel, but especially if you travel through like Turkey and Greece, you'll see the evil eye medallion. People put it on their doors. People put it on their car mirrors. All over the place. People wear the necklaces. The idea being that if somebody casts an eye of envy on you, it reflects back onto them, and the evil that they desired of you befalls them, kind of thing. So very interesting. Still very much alive and well, dude. I know a lot of Hispanic cultures too still have the evil eye. That's very very prominent. But well, JM, man, we're gonna stop there. It's good seeing you. For those of you watching, hey, this is an interesting video. Like JM said, we're doing this in real time, real live questions, just seeing the verse, and sometimes at the end of a study, so I say this a lot. Like the point of a study isn't to get through a verse and then apply it, and the point of the study is to study, to learn, right? I loathe that rush to application, which is a word I have so many misgivings about anyway. But sometimes the study is just for the sake of study, not to have something to apply. And so, I mean, this is a study that spurs me on to want to study more. This verse to understand what's going on. And as we've seen so many times, And as you alluded to, man, Proverbs are just they're a beast.
They are. Yeah, they're enigmatic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, well, we're gonna wrap it up here. Hey, head over to discipledojo.org, the Disciple Dojo YouTube channel, and check out glosahouse.com, as well as the Prov Text podcast on Spotify, and the Glosa House TV channel as well. I've started calling the Prov Text podcast, like the audio version, and the video version's Glosa House TV. So yeah, but we're going to stop there, friends. Thanks for watching, listening. We'll stop there and say we hope that helps.
Interested in growing your ancient language skills but not sure where to start? Glosa House can help. From illustrated readers and short stories to lexicons and grammars, Glosa House offers a variety of resources for beginning, intermediate, and experienced ancient language learners. Head to glosahouse.com today. Glosa House, language resources for the global community.